Hello, my name is Bruce Hymanson, and I'm a physical therapist and the inventor of Bodyblade. And I'd like to congratulate you on your purchase of Bodyblade. You've just joined thousands of men and women who've made the choice to use Bodyblade for their physical fitness and exercise programs. In the next few minutes, we're going to show you exactly how you can turn your body into an exercise machine using Bodyblade and work out all the major muscle groups in your body. Okay, let's take a few minutes to talk about safety. Now, Sherry, go ahead in your chest press position. Now, Bodyblade is 4 feet long, so we have approximately 2 feet on either side of Sherry's body right now. I recommend a safe, clear space, which is about 3 feet, just to ensure that you have a safe area. Now, let's go over your head with our back and shoulder reach. I recommend another 3 feet over your head to make sure that you have plenty of room to cycle your Bodyblade. As you move Bodyblade back and forth, the tips are going to move, so you want to make sure you have plenty of space. If you have an extra 2 or 3 feet over the head from that position, you're really going to ensure a safe environment. In this section, I want to talk to you about proper use of your Bodyblade. Now, there are a few important points that I'd like to mention to you before we get started. Number one, when you use Bodyblade, we have a ridge that's designed down the center of the handle as a landmark. So when you put your hand on the handle, you can put that landmark right in the center of your grip. Now, as you do this, you're automatically going to put yourself in the proper position when you start cycling your Bodyblade. The other important point about the handle is when you do grab your handle, you want to try to put yourself in the very center of the grip rather than off to one side as you're using your Bodyblade, because that's going to give you the best and the most natural feeling as you use the product. And we don't want to do anything like this with our hands out at the ends, because all of the exercises and the way Bodyblade is designed to work comes from the very center of the product. If this is where your hand is, you're going to be ensured to be using your Bodyblade properly. Now, I'd like to tell you, I designed Bodyblade to have a natural rhythm and a natural frequency of 4.5 times a second. That means that you cannot make this go faster or slower than 4.5 times a second. If you do, it's going to change the feel of Bodyblade, and in fact, it won't even be giving you the benefits of exercise. Let me just give you a quick demonstration about how that works. When you move it back and forth, and you find a sweet spot or the groove for the Bodyblade where it feels the best, that's when you've hit the natural rhythm and frequency of Bodyblade, and that's when it goes to work for you. If you see Bodyblade moving back and forth with the tips, then you know you're getting the proper frequency. Now, if you take a look at my hands while we're doing this, you'll also see that they're fairly calm. If they were moving back and forth, that's actually too slow. And if they're moving back and forth like this, too fast. Work to find that simple, sweet rhythm, and you'll be most comfortable with it. The other thing that you're going to notice when you find that rhythm, that's when you'll feel the resistance of your Bodyblade start to come in for you. Sherry, come on in here and join me. Now, I want to show you how you get into that natural rhythm and the frequency of Bodyblade. When you're moving back and forth, you're starting, stopping, and changing directions of Bodyblade, which means you're getting into that rhythm, and actually, the muscles in your body are asking you to start, stop, and change directions. Now, Sherry, go ahead and do some exercise in your chest press. Right now, and you'll notice the landmark that I was talking about that ridge in the Bodyblade handle. Sherry has that ridge right in the middle between her finger and her thumb. So in addition to feeling the rhythm of the blade, she also feels how well that fits into her hand. And let me stop you for a second, but hold your hand up here. It's almost like tuning in a radio station, where you can rotate that knob just a little bit to find that perfect spot when you do the exercise. We wouldn't want to have you going straight forward with the Bodyblade at an angle like this. You're best to put it straight so the flat edge catches the air as you cycle your Bodyblade back and forth. Go ahead. Okay, now if Sherry were to transition her Bodyblade from the front of her body to her back, you notice that she keeps that ridge in the same place all the time. And you can notice the hand position. It's very simple. Sherry, let go of one hand and bring it back around to the front of your body again. So you start in this position, and then you make your transition around to the back by holding on with one hand, and you're automatically ready to do the next exercise that you do behind your back. Now, if Sherry was going to go over her head, go ahead and transition overhead. Again, one of the hands always stays on that landmark of the ridge going down your Bodyblade. You'll get very comfortable with that as you do all of your exercises. Let me show you exactly how Bodyblade goes to work for you because of the resistance that you're going to get as you use Bodyblade. Remember, Bodyblade has its own natural frequency of 4.5 times a second, 270 contractions a minute. And that frequency remains constant depending on how much energy we put into the Bodyblade. We get more or less resistance. Now, if we cycle Bodyblade very gently, we'll have a low amount of resistance. This is like having a weight stack in your hand. That's the beauty of this system. You automatically control how much push and pull you have, and you'll never ever exceed your own potential for exercise. In fact, Bodyblade automatically seeks the level of your performance. So it brings you up to a maximal level if you want it to, automatically. So this is a small amount of resistance because I'm giving it a very gentle push and pull. The speed of the Bodyblade remains the same, and I'm just gently moving it back and forth. If I put a little more energy into it, I don't change the speed, but I do change the resistance that I'm feeling right now back from the Bodyblade. And of course, I can take any position I want and do the same type of thing. Now, if I do this, I'm getting a lot more resistance, and that's because the blade deflects a greater distance away from the center as I push and pull with more resistance and more energy. It's just that simple. And as you practice with Bodyblade, you'll feel exactly what I'm talking about. It's the most natural thing you can do. Christian, please join me and let's show everybody what that looks like, okay? Now, Christian's going to start off doing this very gently, and you can see maybe he's getting about a 6-inch deflection with Bodyblade right now, which is a pretty low resistance. And just as naturally as that, go ahead and increase the amount of energy. Christian is getting a natural feel based on what Bodyblade gives him back on that push and pull, so he knows how much he can do. Go ahead. Right now he's in a medium mode. Now Christian is going to heavier resistance. And it's just that simple. Now tone it back to a medium resistance and then go even lighter on it and then relax for a second. Now this is something that's a very good point to make right now. Christian can increase or decrease the amount of work he does in one particular exercise just by doing it like that. It's just that simple. And if he puts more energy into it, and he starts to get tired, he'll gradually lower the amount of deflection he gets, and when he stops, he's gotten a complete workout. But here's the beauty. Bodyblade only weighs 1.5 pounds, yet he can garner the resistance that's much heavier than that when he's working 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds. And then when he's at his most tired position, he can bring it back to only 1.5 pounds again. It's perfect for that safety factor. Handling your Bodyblade is important. It's like playing a musical instrument. And there are 5 main gripping positions that I'd like to show you right now so you can get a feel for how you use your Bodyblade. The first is a 2-hand top grip. And it's very simple. Remember we talked about that landmark, the ridge that runs down the center of your Bodyblade. That's the way you want to put your hand and then hold it straight up in front of you for your 2-hand top grip. Now the second is what we call our 2-hand bottom grip, and again we take the ridge and put it directly in our hand so it's facing flat with the palm. Then you just grip your fingers around it, and if I was to bring my hands up or bring my hands down, I still maintain the same position. I don't necessarily want to move my hands around this way, so you keep a nice comfortable grip. Now, the third is simply a single hand grip, and you'll notice that the ridge is right in the center between my thumb and my forefinger. And again, it gives me the freedom to move in front of my face or to bring it out to the side, or if I want to go over my head, then I can also go over my head and keep that same grip. The next I refer to as a golf grip. And when you're doing some of your side-to-side exercises, like in our Super 6, then I take one finger on the grip and wrap my pinky finger inside that finger. And I call this the golf grip. You always want to grip your Bodyblade in the center. You don't want to be way up on the top or way up on the bottom. So you could take a minute, take a look at it, and get that feel. You'll notice that the ridge now is either to the left or to the right of you, rather than in front or behind you as you grab onto the Bodyblade. Now, our fourth grip is a lace grip, and you simply interlace your fingers together and do this. Now, if you want, you can lace and put one hand on the top or the other hand on top, just for a little variety. That's perfectly acceptable. Everything is based on comfort for you. So, two-hand top grip, two-hand bottom grip, single hand grip. Our golf grip was number 4, and our lace grip is number 5. It's very simple. Now, having said that, I want you to feel completely comfortable as you use your Bodyblade. If you need to modify a grip slightly that suits you for your comfort zone when you're exercising, by all means do so. But these are my recommendations for a nice comfortable go at the grips. Now we're going to introduce the Super 6 exercise program. But before we do, I want to let you know that I strategically designed these 6 exercises to include all the major muscle groups of your body. In fact, later on, I'm going to show you how you can customize your own workout and include whatever exercises you want for particular body parts that make you feel good. And Bodyblade works naturally and rhythmically with you as you do that. All right, let's begin with the first of our Super 6 exercises, the chest press. Now, Christian is going to be taking a nice soft posture with a bent knee, a little bit forward at the waist, and go ahead and start moving the blade back and forth. Now you'll notice he has a two-hand top grip. This is the best grip for our chest press, and as you can imagine, he's working his chest beautifully right now. Now, here's where the flexibility of this exercise comes in. Christian, raise your hands up a little bit. Let's work the top of your chest a little bit. Now, in this position, this is more like doing an incline where he's working his upper chest muscles. And now come on back down, and let's lower it a little bit. Here it's like a decline, so he's working the lower chest muscles. And isn't it nice how you have that flexibility to move through a range of motion and cover all of the chest muscles? If you feel more comfortable staying low or in the middle or even up high with your chest press, by all means do that, because it's your program. You just have that comfortable zone to work through. Now we're going to go into exercise number 2, the back and shoulder reach. Christian, let's go ahead and assume the golf grip, our two-hand golf grip. Now, you could also use a lace grip on this one, or Christian likes a modified golf grip like a two-hand top and bottom grip. Okay, let's go into our stance. Nice soft knees, a little flex forward in the posture, and he's brought his arms over his head. Now here he's clearly working the top of his shoulders, his mid-back. In fact, let's turn around, Christian, so people can see exactly what muscles are working. All through his arms, his deltoids, his trapezius, and all through his back muscles. In fact, this is a great exercise for both men and women because it gets the deep postural muscles in the body. But women particularly love this because it brings out and firms up the back of their arms. In fact, all of these exercises are designed to hit your abs and your back and your shoulders and your legs all at the same time. Even though we customize it a little bit with our back and shoulder reach, we're really emphasizing this part of the body. Now this is a great exercise for that. For our third exercise in our Super 6, it's the ab crunch. Now Sherry's taken a two-hand top grip, nice soft knees, flex forward at the waist, and she's working her abdominals right now. Now if she wants a little variety, she can bring her hands down and work into the lower abs. And if she wants to move up, she can work in the upper abs right in through here. Just keep that going right there, and you can see how this brings in the abdominal exercises beautifully. At the same time, Sherry's getting her abdominals. If you'll notice that the hips and thighs are also getting a great exercise because she's going back and forth very subtly, but the Bodyblade is exercising these muscles automatically. In our fourth exercise, the tricep push, we're going to be working the triceps. And I want to show you on this hand grip, you're going to be doing a two-hand top grip. Notice how Christian is taking one hand off, and he'll be bringing this behind his back. But just for a moment, I want you to notice the ridge in the handle stays between his thumb and his forefinger. That never moves. Go ahead and bring that behind your back now, Christian. Now let's get started with your tricep push. Now this works naturally, the whole back of the arm and the tricep, the deltoid, and even the middle of the back and all the postural muscles as well. And the ladies love this exercise as well because it firms and tones up the back of the tricep. That's excellent, Christian. Now go ahead and turn yourself all the way around. Now notice that Christian has a slightly forward posture in his waist. He's got a soft posture in his knees, so he's also working the lower body at the same time he's doing his tricep press. And look at how nicely it brings in all of the back muscles and the shoulder, and of course, our tricep. Let me just add also that this is fine-tuning. If Christian needs to rotate his hand just a little bit to be most comfortable on this tricep, that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's perfectly okay to do as well. That's just fine. Okay, with our fifth exercise, our bicep tricep trimmer, we want to take a two-hand bottom grip, and notice how comfortably Sherry lays Bodyblade right in her hand with the ridge over the top, and then just comfortably wrap your fingers around and you're ready to go. You want to have a nice soft stance, bent knees, hips forward, and notice that Sherry has a nice bend in her elbows. And that bend can vary depending on your comfort zone. And notice how simply she's just moving the blade back and forth in that rhythm. Look how beautifully the bicep and the tricep are both working together. 270 times a minute these muscles are popping off. And the shoulders, the abdominals, all of the back muscles are there to support the exercise of working her biceps and her triceps. Now, if Sherry wanted to raise up a little bit, she could vary this exercise and bring it more into the chest or bring it down more into the bicep and tricep just by making these very simple moves. And these are things that you can do for yourself to make it comfortable. And now our sixth exercise, the hip and thigh sculptor. Okay, Christian is taking another golf grip, and let's begin the exercise, Christian. What Christian is doing is moving the body blade back and forth from the left to the right. And by doing so, he's bringing in all of the hip, thigh muscles, hamstrings, and quadriceps at the same time. In fact, ladies, this is a fantastic exercise for working that part of your body. In fact, all the major muscle groups are working, including the abdominals on this. Notice how the hips are moving back and forth. That means he's constantly contracting these muscles as he moves body blade left and right, automatically 4.5 times a second. And let's move it back. Good. So you can see how the hips are rotating as he does this exercise. All right, Christian, lighten that up a little bit and let's turn you right back around. Excellent. Soft posture at the knees. This brings in the buttocks, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the glutes and thighs perfectly. Excellent. In addition to our Super 6 exercise program, I want you to have the freedom to customize your own exercises and go anywhere and do anything you want with Bodyblade. And let me just show you, for example. If I start with my hands low and I want to go over my head, I can do this and I can come back down. If I want to take Bodyblade in one hand and work out to the side while I'm exercising. In fact, this is a great way to target the back of the shoulder and my mid-back muscles. And again, I could do a diagonal where I may want to do something fluid and come over one side of my body and bring it back down. I can do more abdominal work if I want. Imagine if I were lying down right now and working like this on my back. Some of you who want to do a real advanced abdominal exercise program might even work from side. Watch this now. Go from one side to the other side. This is a great way to add more work to your abdominals. For those of you who are interested in sports, in golf, you can actually simulate the golf swing. And as you get better, this is a great way to work on stabilizing and strengthening all of your trunk muscles. We have baseball players working on batting stance and swinging the bat. We have baseball players who work on pitching and throwing. All of these exercises, Bodyblade is so flexible and wonderful that you can go anywhere and do anything you want with this. In fact, we have people who walk, they power walk, and they get their Bodyblades and they're walking down the street. You can even jog with Bodyblade. It's so versatile, it fits in with everything you do. I'm taking the time to talk to you about this because I don't want you to feel that all there is the Super 6. You can create hundreds of variations that fit into your lifestyle and your exercise fitness level. Take care.